This is the Daily Rut, and I just continuing with this, trying to do this every day if I can. So I'm just going to kind of talk just straightforward, be honest, I guess, and really I really think I'm going to talk about something that's just kind of personal, I guess, and hopefully people can understand. So I hate to make this always about my wife that passed away not too long ago, but I recently ordered one of these, and it's for my iPhone. Now, whenever I hook up my iPhone to my computer, it's always a big pain in the butt because it wants to, go on to iTunes or whatever that is, and it just sits there spinning for like ever. It takes forever to do anything because I don't know, I must have to change something in the settings because it wants to upload and exchange information for like ever. So it's like so irritating. So I just don't like to do it that way with my iPhone if I want to like send something to my computer or whatever. Now I could send over the email or whatever, but you can't really send videos and all that stuff. So that's where one of these comes in handy. Now, this is 256 or 250 something gigabytes. So that's a pretty decent amount, and that's pretty good to move files and move pictures and move videos. Now the purpose I got this though is because on my phone, whenever I want to go into my phone, and I do a lot of stuff on my phone. So there's a lot of videos and all these different things I'm editing and working on constantly. And when I'm doing that, sometimes I have to go pretty far back in history of my photos or videos, and I want to grab something or whatever. And of course, I run across my wife, my deceased wife, and I'm a widower, so I'm got to face the fact that I'm going to see these things on my phone. So I got this because I wanted to be able to, and this is the reason I'm talking right now, is just that I thought of this and I felt I would just kind of document it. So I thought, well, I'll just quickly put everything on this, and that's, has to do with Olivia. And that's very, very hard, okay? Nobody should ever have to watch their wife pass away and have to like literally care for them and take care of them, and while they're sick and getting worse and worse and worse, and slowly have to watch them just not be there anymore. But so trying not to get emotional, but you get to the point where you have to get past that. You have to get over it, and you have to try to move on. And it really is hard to take her off of my phone and take her videos and the pictures of videos with us and the dogs, and we go to the park and we go places and all these things, and it's really hard. So I thought, well, if I just take this and I could just put it on here and just moving the files. It's not like I'm destroying them or deleting them. I'm just moving them, Well, I did do that already a little bit, but then I started going and I'm just seeing there's so many of them. It's just so many. And they're like short little videos here, there, whatever. And it's all these memories. And I was just doing this not too long ago before I even started this video. So that's the reason why I'm even talking about this. And it just, maybe I shouldn't have done this video to kind of talk about, I don't know. I don't know what the good thing, what's right or wrong here for dealing with this stuff. I'm just being honest, and I'm just dealing with things as they come, because I've never dealt with this before, obviously. So I've never had to lose my wife before, or never had to do any of this stuff before. So it's hard. And I was with her for 11 years. So, well, I was married to her for 11 years. I actually knew her longer than that, but it's just really tough, And I guess I never really described really about her. I just kind of told you about how she died, but I guess I'll just kind of give a short, brief, if I can do that, story about how I met her, because maybe that'll be a little more positive, and I won't have to have this terrible trauma from seeing her in her deathbed, you know. And plus, I just need to fill the time. I met Olivia by accident. I was at the time, I had a girlfriend before her that I was with, and I'm a Christian, so back then I wasn't so much a Christian further back, you know. And I was with that woman for a long time, and she wasn't a good person anyway. And my dog's gonna start barking. Come here. We're not doing this right now. Anyway, this is Max, by the way. He's the security camera. Anyway, but not he. This little one is getting in my mind now. Anyway, but I met her online because my sister was trying to help me date online, or try to set me up to date online, because that girl basically took everything. I had to live with my sister. I didn't have a house. I lost everything because of her. I mean, I had no car. I had no way to get to work. Everything was gone because of this girl. And she cheated on me, and I didn't know it. And she would come back to me, and, you know, back and forth, and I didn't know she was cheating on me. And so she'd be with me, like sleep with me, and then we would go, and she'd go and do this again, and it'd be back. I don't know all the things that was going on, honestly, but I ended up finding out, and it was terrible. But I don't want to get into all that. So I wasn't with her, and I was with her for many years too. I wasn't married to her, though, unfortunately. I wasn't. Well, actually, it was a good deal, because if I would have married her, who knows what would have happened, you know. So so anyway, I was just messed up. I was really angry at her and everything at that time. So my sister set it up to where I would date online. I've never dated online. I wasn't good at dating in person. I'm kind of an introvert. So I went online, and I was coming home from work, because I worked night shift, and I would come home and I would see always on this website, I think it's called Christian, Free Christian Dating or something like that. I gotta look at it. I don't remember. But anyway, it's a app or a website anyway where you can meet Christians, because I didn't want to meet some atheist, drunk, whatever. And even then, you gotta wonder on a Christian website. So what happened is I'd come home from work, I would check the website because I'm sitting there bored, you know, in the morning. And so what would happen is I would end up seeing always Filipino girls on there. And I didn't know, I must have had the settings off or something, or I don't know. So I ended up getting a lot of Filipinos for some reason. And eventually I was like, what is the deal with Filipinos? And of course, I was a dumb American. I didn't know anything about the Philippines at the time. I never traveled on a plane. I've never gone out of the country at the time. I've never done anything. So I asked a couple different girls. I didn't talk to Olivia immediately. But I talked to a couple different girls. They were nice and kind and everything. I don't think they were like trying to date me or anything. Maybe they were. I just wasn't very aware or something. Anyway, so I asked them, like, what is the deal, you know, and then people would talk. And then eventually I ran into Olivia. And I just asked her, I'm like, you guys are always online at this time, all these Filipino girls, you know. And she said, well, yeah, it's our daytime when it's your nighttime or your whatever late, you know. And I'm like, well, I guess that makes sense. They're on the other side of the earth, you know. And then to make a long story short, I ended up kind of communicating with her kind of just as a friend for a long time, and just kind of talking to her, and just kind of, it just kept going and going, and eventually you get to this point where you're like, what am I doing, you know? I was like, this girl's in the Philippines. I'm in America. I've never traveled. I couldn't even go there. That's the way I was thinking. So eventually I basically fell in love with her. You know, I really enjoyed her, you know. And then she told me about her kidney, how she only has one kidney, and it's her brother's kidney, and she had kidney problems. She had a kidney transplant. And I'm sorry for that loud muffler on that car that's driving by right now. They do this every day. Anyway, but so what happened was is we ended up. Uh, she told me that like that was like a problem, like I shouldn't want to know her or something. Anyway, because of her kidney or whatever, if we're gonna go out or we're gonna anyway, I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, I don't care, I still care about you. So I ended up, uh, basically, long story short, I ended up eventually getting to the point where I saved up a bunch of money, and back then it was harder to come by. I was not good at saving. I was not very good with finances and money. I was always spend it and stuff, and so I worked the longest hours at my job for like a month straight. I didn't have any days off. I didn't take any days off. I worked every single day for a month. I got it set up with my boss, so it was okay. So I just basically worked infinite hours nonstop so I could have all the money I need to go to the Philippines and to meet her for the first time. So I did meet her, and I eventually, I'm getting ahead of myself, and then eventually I got the tickets, I got everything all set up, and then of course, I've never flown I've never gone anywhere on my own flying. I've never flown before at this point. So I was scared of heights too. So somehow along the way, and like I said, I wasn't the best Christian at this time. So anyway, I kind of just figured out a way to just say, you know what, God, take this, Even though I was a bad Christian, didn't know him very well, I just kind of said, here you go, take this. I can't deal with this, but I need to go see this girl, So I flew, I actually did it, and I got on the plane, and I managed to make it, I flew all the way to Taiwan, and then I had a transit, or whatever, a change of flight or whatever from, I think it was Taiwan, or wait, was it Japan? I can't remember. Anyway, and then I went to Manila, and I met her there. I'm just giving you a short version of the story. And then, of course, when you get out of the airport in Manila, now you're in another country and you're new to this like me, and I was like panicking a little bit. You have that blurry vision kind of thing where you're trying to find your kid in a crowd and you can't, like there's too many people type of thing. So I ended up seeing like nobody. I'm like, what am I doing, And I think I was a little late too. My flight came a little late. So she ended up seeing me. I couldn't see her. And all of a sudden I get this poke in my side, like a sharp little elbow, and it's her. And I'm like, oh my God, she's so short. And she was like, because she's only like 5 foot tall, and she's like maybe 100 pounds, and so whatever, everything went good. I was there for like 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks. It was pretty much 2 weeks that time. And I tried to marry her there, but I didn't know how to do the paperwork properly at the airport, or at the embassy or whatever. I had to go and do stuff. So I messed all that up. I'm giving you the short version of the story, but we did travel in the Philippines. We went to the province. We went all over the place. We took a bus up a hill and a mountain, and I couldn't sleep all night because of like you're seeing down the edge, and it's like infinitely forever, and this guy is just turning constantly all night. Anyway, but we got to see her family. We got to meet everybody. Everything was fun and everything. And then I came back, which was the hardest. That is the hardest. Because if you ever do this with an immigration type of thing, and you are trying to marry a Filipino and you're American, you have to leave her in the airport and come home. Then you're going to do a K1 visa, or you're going to do some visa set up, probably the K1, because you didn't marry her there. So anyway. So then I had to, I'm not a technical person. I don't know how to do all the paperwork the government wants for you to do and all this. I'm not good at that. But somehow we figured it out. She helped. She did a great job. She helped out. She did all kinds of work, because my brain can't read all this lawyer speak and all this stuff. So we got through all this, and then eventually, like a year later, after I left her in the Philippines, and she's crying, and a sad moment, Basically a year later, she came. I had the visa, and she was basically here on a K1 visa. Anyway, it's like where you come here. She has like 3 months to marry me, to stay here, and become an immigrant and get her green card and all that stuff. So that's how legal immigration works. And now I'm not talking about illegal. where you just jump the border, which I wish she could have done, because trust me, your heart is broken when you leave the woman you love 9,000 miles away and you have to come back for like a year and just look at each other on a screen on the phone or on the computer or whatever. So that's like a nightmare. But anyway, that was how it all began. So that's the story of how I met Olivia. And then after, when she got here, we got married. It was a terrible wedding. I feel so bad for her because I didn't have a lot of money, because I had to pay immigration, and I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't even have my own place at the time. We were staying at this person's house, like had a room in the house. It was just the worst of the worst for a woman to come into your life in that state. But somehow she survived, and she stuck with me. And you know, a Filipino wife, there's nothing like a Filipino wife. They will stick with you. There's nothing like a Filipino wife. No American woman, I don't think, can even compete with a Filipino wife. It's just, there's so many things that I cannot explain. I mean, yeah, we could fight and we could have all the arguments like normal relationships, but there's just nothing like a Filipino wife. There's nothing. Nothing competes with that. At least in my eyes, anyway. So, that being said, that's kind of how I met Olivia and everything, and this video is getting really long now. So, but it all started with this and me trying to take these memories that I have of her and trying to get them to where I can go on my phone and look through all my photos, and I don't want to get rid of her. I don't like that because she's in my mind, she's in my soul, but I need to move on, okay? Anyway, so I don't want to get emotional because I know some people will be judging me or acting like I'm an actor or whatever. I don't know what people might think. I don't know. This is a vlog. I've never done this before, but I just have to do this. This is my therapy, okay? I say that in other videos. But, so anyway, that's the story of how I met Olivia. I wasn't originally going to tell that story. I was just going to talk about this, like this little thumb drive and about how I was trying to remove pictures. But apparently the memories of all this stuff is hard to get rid of. You just can't put it away and just put it into a file and just kind of file it away because it's all in here. But I'm slowly getting better, because before I would have been crying like a baby through all that stuff I just told you. So I'm getting better. But I think eventually I'm going to have to move on. I can't do this, you know. I can't be living in the past, you know. I can't just be looking back at her pictures. Yes, I have the pictures. Yes, I'll keep the pictures. I got all the videos and all that stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe 10 years down the road, I can actually sit down and watch the stuff without dying. But there's nobody that tells you what you're going to deal with when your wife dies. There's no answers, really. People feel bad for you. People say, I'm sorry, all this stuff. But until they are the husband dealing with the pain of watching his wife pass away, there's just no real good answers, okay? And it's depressing and all this stuff, but I still struggle with trying to do some things. I'm just really dragging my feet on a lot of stuff still. But this video is getting really long, so I shouldn't go on and on. But I don't know. This might be the worst video of all time. I don't know what it is, but I didn't want to go back to talking about Olivia, but I just had to mention this because of this thing here, right? This thing just kind of set me off a little bit, you know, because I had to look through all my videos and my pictures and see some of these things. I didn't even click on them. I could just see them, and it's like instant memories, you know. Anyway, this is a long video, so I'm just going to cut it right here. I'm sorry for the long video. I'm not really going to do much editing, I don't think. So just tell me what you think in the comment section below. I'm sorry to make you have a sad day if you're watching this and you feel terrible or whatever. I'm going to be fine. Like I said, I got to move on. So, but comment in the comment section below, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video if you like what I do. And thank you for watching. Thank you for watching The Daily Rut. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this vlog.